Good evening, everybody. Today we are back with a brand new video, and I'm going to be doing the second half of our Bob's Burgers restaurant build. Now, last time we ran out of time and we could only do the bottom half, which is the restaurant, and we obviously also did like the little basement area as well, and we did do the outsides of our build. But today we are going to be doing the top half, which is basically their entire flat, so hopefully I can do it justice. Also, once again, if you see me looking off to this side of my screen, I am looking at references just to make sure that we get this looking as accurate as possible to their actual building. So I'm gonna start over here where we've got Jean's bedroom, which is just this tiny little room here. A lot of them do have really small rooms. The smallest one is actually Luis's, which is this one, and it is literally so small. I might actually have to like sort of pull it out to make it a 3x3 because yeah, a room is tiny like in the actual series, and it is literally just a bed and a wall and like a really little like set of drawers or something, but we'll work that out as we get a little bit closer towards it. But we're going to start here where we've got Jean's bedroom. So from the looks of it, we can't actually see what kind of lighting he has, so I'm just going to put in a really bog standard light just at the top. They do just have like, from what I can tell, really basic sort of brown wooden doors that basically just look exactly like this. So Jean actually has purple carpet, which I'm pretty sure that we can get, so that should be okay. Can I get this in purple? I can't. Oh no. Okay, well I know that we can get this in purple, but that is definitely a different kind of purple. We also have these which are purple too. See, now we're already getting to the annoying stage where I thought we could get purple carpet. We clearly can't get it in like a neutral tone. We have like this one, but it's much fluffier, and I feel like that doesn't really fit with the same vibe. Even if we go into here though, we do not have that much choice when it comes to actually finding purple sort of coloured flooring. It is like a really desaturated purple actually, and if you go into some of the other ones, it's almost like a more plum colour, which is kind of a bit more similar to the darker shade inside here. But alas, we can't do that colour, so let's see if we can find it in the red section, as it is like slightly red toned too. Or we could go with, if we can find a slightly red brown, that would also work. I am wondering whether maybe this would work, but it's really not that similar. Okay, this is probably as close as we're gonna get. It's not actually like proper carpet, it's just like hardwood floor, but it is kind of the same tone. Not the same exact colour, but it's the same tone, so I think it's okay. Then once again, we have more green tones, so we've got green walls, which again, I'm kind of hoping that we can find something that matches it. It is not like the hardest one to find. It does just have like a brown wooden frame, so something like this. That's actually exactly what he has, so that fits perfect. Then he has a green bed frame, so hopefully we can find a green bed as well. So there is a few that have like this kind of green bed frame colour. Weirdly enough, this one actually kind of suits, but obviously the actual bed itself doesn't really work, the like sheets on it. So I think what I'm going to do instead is we'll ignore the green frame of the bed, but the sheet on the bed is red, so we'll go with that as opposed to it, and hopefully we can get like a light brown that kind of matches this sort of wall that we have here. Okay, so I kind of feel like this one's probably as close as we're kind of gonna get it. It isn't the same red, but there isn't anything really that has the same backboard either, because he does have this very like unique old kind of like very basic bed, and we don't have anything like that in here, which is kind of really annoying. But I think we're gonna have to just settle with, I guess, this one, because at least it's got kind of some shape to the end of the headboard. Then he does have a little green side table, which let's see if we can get that, because this game really does not like the color green. I think this one's probably the most similar, just because it is the exact same green as the walls. We do actually get a look as well at what is on the other side of his bedroom, which is on this wall here, and he actually has a shelf, basically just like some little items and stuff on it, which is perfect. So we can go ahead and add that in. It's basically just two wooden shelves, so he's got two of those there, and then we can see that he's got like a mini like corner thing as well, like a set of shelves in the corner, which I don't know if we can get something similar to that. Okay, we do have this thing, which I think is basically the same if we just make it a bit smaller. And finally, he has a little green like cabinet just directly under there, and then we can just go ahead and add in a bunch of decorations. He does actually have a wardrobe over here as well. I want to see if with BB move objects on, whether we can put a wardrobe directly over the top of these stairs, and I'm not too sure if it'll allow it. Let's see. So it does seem to allow it, which is surprising. So I'm gonna see if we can add that in because I don't know whether it's going to look really bad from the other side. I'm going to go with just like the regular 2-1, I guess, just because it'll look a little bit better. But if we did that and then go around here, can we then put walls up? I don't know whether it just won't allow us. Yeah, it won't allow us. So we would have to deal with the fact that we can see this box on the other side. But to be fair, it's not like the worst thing. We could also just put a singular wall there. It's not like too bad. I think it looks better with the little wall, and then if we put a fence in, then it should be okay. I know that there's another one as well in the parents' room, and I've sort of planned ahead and already done a little gap for that. Then we can go ahead and add in just our little sort of surfaces that we've got over there for extra decoration, and then we can go in and do our final touches, which is the decorations for the room. Basically, he has a lot of instruments sort of just scattered around. He also does have a small like purple rug, so hopefully we can get something similar to that. It is round in this series, but this is like, I think, round enough, and it kind of pulls in that purpliness that we're kind of looking for because it's the right kind of shade. And then he basically just has like a bunch of posters as well around the room. He basically just has a bunch of clutter all over like these little shelves, so I'm just kind of putting a lot of stuff in that has like a lot of color to it and makes it feel like it is kind of just way more cluttered. There we go. And then finally he does just have some instruments. Obviously he has his keyboard, but I can't really fit that in unless I make it very small, and we can kind of maybe just stick it like over here or something so that it's still in the room. Yeah, that still kind of works. I wish that it like went up against a wall. But yeah, there's Jean's room. Now we can move on to the next part. I think I'm going to try and do the hallway just so we can get a better idea of like what it kind of looks like. Hopefully we have some reference images somewhere for what the hallway actually looks like. I feel like I've actually made it way bigger than what I was expecting it to be. So I think what I'm gonna do is just make it a little bit tighter. I don't know if that's too tight just because I am worried. Oh no, then we wouldn't be able to get into the next bedroom. So let's bring it out this way. I feel like that at least gives us a little bit more space. So on their walls they have basically just like completely green walls. So again, I'm hoping that we can get green walls. They do have like these sort of wooden boards on them, so I don't know if that's something that they've actually got in the game. It doesn't appear so we might have to go with ones that are sort of like this, that have the white framing to them, just because they don't have any that have green, and I definitely feel like that's kind of a big part of this room, so we'll go with the white ones. And then from the looks of it, they just have like regular wooden floorboards, which is a nice easy one. They're kind of like this kind of shade. I can get like lighter ones. That's probably a bit more accurate. And then they basically just have like some sort of framed pictures scattered around as well. So I do have like these kind of photo frames from the what is that, the Moschino pack? Yeah, Moschino, that pack. So I'm going to use that just so that we can then have sort of more realistic pictures of them just sort of scattered around. There we go. So I've basically just sort of scattered around a few different pictures. We then need to work out what these stairs look like as well. I'm pretty sure they're just brown stairs, right? So we know that the handle is brown as well, so I imagine that the stairs are probably also just brown. We'll go with like this kind of brown color. And then I think there is some times where they are downstairs, so I'm gonna have to work out what that kind of looks like as well. And I think that kind of looks the most accurate when it comes to the railing that they've got. So that's looking pretty good. Let's go see if we can work out what's happening at this front door. So unfortunately I can't find any references for what it looks like, but I imagine that it looks similar to what's upstairs, so we'll just kind of replicate it, and then we'll also stick a little light down there too. Then I think we can move on to our living area, which I will just stick a little light in there for now. So I don't know why, but I totally thought that they had a door here, but it actually just goes straight through to their living room, which I did not realize that it just literally has this big hole, which is very odd. I don't know whether maybe it would be better like this, just because it does have a little side table. I think there is a gap. There's definitely a gap. No, you know what? I don't think that there is. So we'll just do it like that, I guess, for now. And then there is like this weird change of like walls as well. It doesn't change a massive amount, but it basically just becomes yellow, and it still has that little like wooden frame section at the bottom. So we might just have to go with this one, which is basically the same as what we have in the hallway, but in yellow. Let's see if we can get it in yellow first. No, none of them have a yellow frame, which makes sense because that wouldn't look that nice. So then we can go around and just do this part in yellow. And then for their flooring, they have basically this red color, which should be quite easy to get. We do have this red color, which is quite bright, but that might be the only kind of red color that we can really get. Yeah, I think when it comes to the carpet, we're gonna have to go with this more bright red color, which I think isn't too bad. Then they do also have red curtains that go over here where they've got their big windows. So let's go grab those. They're basically just like swooping down on either side. So for that, something like this could work if it was the right size, but they all seem too big. I might actually end up having to go with something like this though. I think for realism, I'm gonna have to go with these ones just because of the shape. They work a little bit better. The windows are just a little bit too far apart. We do also have like basically, I don't even know how to describe it, like an archway that goes over here. I thought it was like just a cutout piece, but we do actually have a section that comes in. So we can do that quite easily as well, which is fine because we can just use a doorway like this. It's a shame that they don't have any that are just like solid round. They have to have like this weird like bit at the top of it. The alternative is that we go with something like this, but I think in reality we're just gonna have to go with it being an open archway. Or we have this one, but I think this one's small. Yeah, it's quite small. I think the annoying thing is that it's 3 wide and there aren't any that are 3 wide, so it kind of ruins it. Why does like this weirdly work though, even though it's too tall? You know what, I'm gonna put the big one in. It's fine, it kind of works better, although I feel like that might mess up the top part a little bit. It's not too bad though. So yeah, we're gonna go with that instead just because it does open it up much more. Then they have this brown sofa as well. That's obviously like their signature brown sofa. So I think this one's actually the most similar just because it's such a basic sofa and it's still a 3-person as well, so we can fit all of the people on there. Then they have like a really basic just wooden side table, which actually kind of just looks like this stool, so I might just use this stool. They also have a little like another comfy seat that's more like purple, so let's see if we can get that. I feel like the purple again is going to be quite difficult to match. So we can match the purple, but we can't match the shape, which is annoying. This is actually much similar, so I wish that they had this in purple, but we can't really get away with doing it in red, I don't think. But we have this one, which again doesn't have purple but has red. I think we might just have to accept the red little chair. Then they do have a quite round coffee table, which we should be able to include as well. Annoyingly, there isn't like a massive amount of round tables. We do have this one, but it's kind of got some stuff on top of it. Or we have this one, but we can't get this one in brown and it's not really round anyway. But if we use this one and then make it a bit smaller, then it should be okay. And then we also have a rug, and they have like this weird green rug, which I don't think we have enough choices when it comes to like the colors of green to actually find something that fits with it. Honestly, this actually kind of works. It's so basic though, the design, that it's literally just like a square. So I'm trying to see if we can find anything that is just a square of green. I mean, this is, but it's not really the right shade. It's actually green and orange, so if we can find an orange thing, maybe that'll work too. Okay, this kind of works. So let's just go with this one. And then we can go over here where we have a little, I think it's like a little box TV on top of like a little wooden stand. Very sort of basic kind of style. It's basically just like that. They do have indents in the walls here where they have like decorations, but we're definitely not going to be able to mimic that. And they do actually have a red potted plant right next to where the TV is. It's going to go grab that and just pop that there. They have also this massive bookcase on this side of the room, but I'm just going to quickly do all of the pictures that they have in there first, just because we're already on this side of the room. Okay, so from what I can tell, they have basically just a massive bookcase there, and then they've got the door that leads through to the parents' room. So just something like this works fine, and then we can grab the door for there, which is weirdly like yellow. It's like a yellow door as opposed to all of the other ones, which are like this brown color. And again, look how minimal we have in terms of yellow doors, so I might just have to go with a slightly lighter version of this door. This is sort of yellow. What else is like kind of yellow? That's yellow basically. Then that leads us into the parents' room. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to like, share and subscribe. There seems to be very minimal idea of what their room actually looks like, but we do know that they obviously have a big double-sized bed. Gonna grab a light for there as well, and I may as well use the same lighting in the other rooms as well, just because we don't seem to have any sort of idea of what kind of lighting they actually have in there. But we can see that they have a big double bed in the middle, and we know that they have, again, like, is it purple? The problem is that a lot of the colours that we have for the parents' room appears to be like at nighttime, so all of it looks purple, but that's just because of the lighting. Yeah, no, so it is purple. So they've got purple walls and purple carpet again, which obviously we don't have the purple carpet. We can use the same one as what was in Jean's room, and then we can go ahead and grab. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure they'll have purple walls. I don't think it'll be too difficult to get. They do have a brown skirting board as well, same as what Jean had. We could see if they've got the same one in the same thing as this. No, they don't. Okay, maybe purple walls is a little bit harder than I thought they'd be to get. It doesn't need to have a skirting board, but it would have been nice to have one. I think we're gonna have to just settle without one though. So we can just go with sort of color matching, which I think like this is pretty similar, or we go with this one so it actually matches the floor a little bit better. Then they have a green bed with like a just simple wooden back frame, which is should be super easy to get. The green is always a little bit difficult to color match though. I feel like weirdly this one kind of works. So I'm put that down for now. We'll just have a quick double check because they do have this one as well, and this one looks kind of nice, but it doesn't have that wooden headboard which we kind of need. Or we've got this one, but it's kind of a different style to what we're doing here. Yeah, I think we'll go with that one. That one kind of works the best. And then they also have a dresser over on this side as well, or like not a dresser, like a vanity kind of thing. Yeah, so it's basically this thing, which yeah, that is basically exactly what they have. Then they do have little side tables as well, which are literally just little wooden side tables. So that should be super easy to get. I think they also have a little set of drawers just over here, and then we can just whack in some pictures, and then I think that's pretty much all they have in there. I think that they do also have windows. I'm not too sure which windows though, because it doesn't make sense that they have like the space, because obviously there is a building on this side. So I need to do like a little bit of checking and just double check and see if they actually do have that. Okay, they do actually have windows. So I think they're just basically the same size as like these ones, but maybe not that color. They seem to be like this sort of lighter color. So we could just add them in here because they seem to go all the way through to the kitchen as well. But I'll double check that when we actually start doing the kitchen. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that that's the only things that they really have in their room. So we can now move over to our tiny little bathroom. They weirdly seem to have a green door for this one, so let's see if we can get a green door. There's quite a few green doors. It's not exactly the same green because it's kind of like this weird minty green. Do they have a mint green door anywhere? No, not really. So I think we might just have to go with like this. It's not really the same, but I think we're gonna have to just deal. Okay, so this time we have blue tiling on the floor, which is a little bit of a change up from our green and red that we've been doing. And we should easily be able to get this blue tiling. I think I'm just gonna go with like this one. It's kind of the most similar. We do though, in fact, have green again on the walls. Now, this is green tiling, and I feel like it's gonna be really unlikely we're gonna be able to get anything similar, or even just green walls with white tiling would kind of work too. There doesn't appear to be anything like that, which is really annoying. I feel like I might just have to go with either tiling or we're going to have to go with green walls. I think what might be best, because they do have a weird split where behind the bath they have more tiling than the rest of the room. What we could do is do green for the most of the room and then do like a white tile on the back. I think that's kind of the only way we're going to be able to do this. So I think that kind of matches the best, and then we can do a white tile on this back section here. Okay, and then they have just a pure white bath with a green shower curtain in the back section, which again, I don't think we're going to get that green color, but we might be able to get just like a bath. Well, actually, we have this that is really similar. No, it's not the same kind of neon green that they've got here, but it is similar enough that I feel like we could use that. They then, of course, have a green toilet and a green sink, so we're gonna have to go in and add those. Do they have those? Not particularly. That's kind of green. It's not the same kind of sink though. The sink that they have is like the cheap one here. I mean, this is also green, but this is like the complete wrong kind of shade. This also, I think, has like a green base to it. Yeah, so that kind of works. It works better than I think some of the other ones will. And then any chance we can get a green toilet that isn't that shade. We've got this one. I mean, to be fair, that it kind of matches. Their entire like house is basically just really garish. Then they have a little cabinet behind there that is weirdly purple, but I think I'm going to do it as white just because we can't get that same shade and it'll look really weird if we do anything else. Yeah, and then there's has just a few little added bits, which is basically just like having this little towel right next to the sink. And then obviously we do have our little toilet there. I think they do have towels somewhere. Do they have towels anywhere? Okay, they actually have no towels hung up anywhere. So I guess we just leave that bit for now. They do actually have a little brown rug though right in front of here where the toilet is. Actually, it's more like here. I can just add it maybe there. That's kind of where it is. So that's our bathroom done. We can then go on to the next room, which I will do Luisa's room next. This is the one that I'm most worried about, mainly just because of how small it is. She does actually have 2 bedrooms in the series. We're gonna do her older one because she gets a bunk bed a little bit later on, and I'm a little bit worried that that's gonna then make it really difficult to actually decorate. So we will go with her older bedroom, which is basically just a single blue bed, and then it's got like a couple of bits of decorations, and she has a cabinet as well. So her room is very similar to her parents almost. It's basically this pinky color on the walls, and then she has a kind of purple floor. So we're gonna again go with the same flooring because we do not have anything else that's that close to purple. And then her walls are basically pink. They're basically like this kind of shade, if we can get that without the white top to it though. Something like this. That's pretty much what it looks like. And then she actually has a green door as well. So annoyingly, we're gonna have to go with this sort of bright green color. And then she weirdly doesn't have any headboard. So I'm gonna see if we can find anything that doesn't have a headboard for some reason, which I feel like is unlikely if we're also trying to get it in purple, which is the color of her bed. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really appear like it. We could just go with, it's kind of like this light purple color. So I'm trying to see if we've got anything that isn't too overwhelming. I think this one, even though it's not purple, is actually closest, and we can push it up to here so we can remove the headboard, which I think is kind of an important part about it. Then she does have like posters basically over the entire room, and she has a very small sort of shelf thing there and another one back here. So for her little yellow bit at the like right at the bottom, I'm actually going to go with this. I'm going to make it like ever so slightly smaller. It does have a brown top to it, but it's also covered in stickers, which I feel like Louise would do. And then we need a very skinny one that we can just put here, and hopefully it doesn't affect her using the bed. I'm thinking this one because it's already quite small, and we can just shove it straight up here. And then obviously she has a little shelf here as well, and she has a bunch of plushies and like sort of stuffed animals around the room too. Actually, I'm going to change that end one. We're going to use this one instead, just because it's much yellower. We do have this thing as well, which weirdly looks like Coochie Kopi, and I'm going to include that. We'll need to move these things out for a second, just so that we can work out the sizing, because I have made them smaller. But I'm going to put Coochie Kopi on this side over here. He's not green in this, which is kind of annoying. I can only get him in blue, but I think we can deal. She doesn't really have much on this side table actually, so I'm just going to keep it as just him. And then we can just put a couple of toys over here, and then she obviously has the thing at the end as well where we can put more stuffed animals. She seems to keep some in this corner down here, so I'm going to use some bigger stuffed animals down there. There you go. I think that's about right for her room. Then we can then move over to Tina's room, which let's have a look at what Tina's room actually looks like. Obviously a lot of horses. I don't know if there's any actual like horse pictures. I wish that there is, because that would be great. She has a pink door, so she's got a different door to all of the other ones. Let's see if we can get one that's pink. Again, just not enough pink options, which is so odd to me that you can't have like just the variety that like a lot of the other colors have. There seems to be such a restriction. I'm really hoping that they fix this when we get into The Sims 5. I'm going to use a white door for now though, just because that is kind of, I guess, as similar as we're going to get. So Tina does have pink walls, so we're going to go with, I'm trying to find the one that kind of matches the best. This one actually kind of matches, so we'll go with that. Then on the floor we have pink flooring as well, so hopefully they have pink carpet. Yep, that's fine. So we've got pink carpet on hers. Then she has a pink and purple bed, which again I think that should be kind of easy to get. Yeah, there's quite a few different pink and purple ones that I can see. This one's probably the best one, and we can just pop that in the corner. It's actually a little bit further away from the corner, hers, like that. Pretty much everything in her room appears to be pink, which I've never actually noticed before, but it does definitely make it easier to then decorate, just because everything is one solid color palette. She's got a little side table, and she also has another one of those dresses that I put in the other room, but I don't know if we can get that in pink. We can get it in pink. Okay, perfect. So we can add that. I think, yeah, it does actually have a mirror, so we're gonna have to shove it right up against the edge there. She also has a blue rug in her bedroom, so let's go grab that too. Hopefully there is one that kind of matches. It's basically just like a fluffy light blue rug. Okay, there aren't any that are fluffy, so I'm basically just going to have to go off of color for this one. A little bit annoying, but I think maybe even these ones are kind of about right in terms of like the shade. Then at the end of the room, she has a desk as well, which is important because that's where she writes into her diary. And again, of course, it's pink. I'm going to go with this one because this one's very pink. She does actually have another little storagey thing over here, but I'm a little bit worried about how that's going to clash with the rest of the room. So I might have to leave it out, otherwise this might be sort of an unusable play. And weirdly enough, she has a green chair, which is really strange. And I am going to include her diary as well. Then obviously we are going to include horses. I'm going to just do them in sort of a range of like sizes, I think, just scattered around the room. We can just do like that so that she has some horses, and then obviously we need pictures as well. They all pretty much have like the same kind of just posters sort of scattered around. Okay, so that's Tina's room done. We can then move on to our last room, which is our kitchen area. So for this one, it does look like it has an open archway as opposed to a door, which does make it a little bit easier. It is yellow, but obviously if we can get it in like a light brown, then that'll work as well. Go with this one. I think this one's quite yellow. So then for the actual room, so it's the same as this all the way around. It does have tile further down there, but I don't think we can actually get yellow tile. Yeah, nothing that really matches. There's actually like barely anything that's actually yellow tile, so we'll just leave it as that for now. And then it's got the same wooden floorboards that we have in the rest of the hallway as well. So it has blue curtains on this window, and then it actually has green cabinets going through the entire thing, which should be quite easy to do. I think we can get quite a lot of green cabinets, so it should be okay. It's just kind of trying to match it, but weirdly this color palette actually works really well because it does have that sort of browny gold top to it. Then our kitchen is basically sort of a U shape, somewhat. It goes sort of around, and then this corner here, and then we have a fridge here. For the rest of it, we have an oven there, and then it just tapers off into this section here, and then we've got a bin down there. So it's somewhat simplistic. We should be able to kind of work out where everything else is going. We have a sink kind of in this area. I'm trying to work out what kind of color would be best. Probably this cream. Might have to be the cream color. It's quite a dark sink, which is kind of annoying. That kind of works, I think. We do also have cabinets at the top, which actually go all the way across because there's another little one that goes there, and then it does actually go around the corner like this. Same thing on the other side, and then obviously it hits our fridge there. So that is basically their kitchen. So I'm just going to go through and add in a couple bits of decorations. They have a phone on the wall here, but I'm going to use this little thing instead as a smoke detector. And then they do just kind of have a few little bits kind of scattered around the countertops. Yeah, so that's about right. And then we obviously have our big dining table as well, which is in this part of the actual kitchen. So it's basically just bog standard wooden round table. So hopefully it does fit, because I know that the tables are quite big. That's my only concern. Okay, so it should actually fit. That's basically the exact right table, but obviously it has five chairs. So we might have to go with 6, or I could just leave a gap somewhere. The problem with the round tables is you don't have a lot of freedom when it comes to choosing where things go. So we do have these bog standard chairs here, which are exactly kind of what we're looking for. So it is either we're gonna have to go with 6 or we're gonna have to leave one out. I am just gonna add 6 just to make it look a little bit better. But yeah, there is their kitchen. It is now completely finished, and there is the entirety of Bob's Burgers house complete. I think that it looks really cool. Obviously it is a little bit of a strange design. It is very difficult to try and find exactly what all of the rooms look like, and obviously Sims does have some limitations in terms of the wall colors and flooring colors, and obviously the items that you can pick. But I think that we somewhat managed to match it all up. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I think that my favorite rooms are definitely the living room and the kitchen. I think that they kind of look the most accurate to the way it looks in the series. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post long content like this every Wednesday and Friday at around 6 PM, and I post shorts the rest of the week. If you enjoyed this video, on the screen now is another recommended video, so check that one out too. And I hope you all have a great evening.